Just one restream bot. Huh. We finally got the audio live again. All right. Bit of technical difficulties there. It looks like we still need a little bit of cropping for Silver's stream. Tracker's a little bit off too. All right. So let's see if we can try to catch up here. We got Shala working their way over to Big Pink. Plof is already working through Big Pink. We got di10kong up in Gauntlet. And we got Silver working their way out of BT. Up in the front of Gauntlet, we got a pack of super missiles. Plof working their way over to the SPO item. And we find just a pack of missiles there.
Hello, Amadeus. I finally got the multi-twitch worked out.
All right. Well, I'm commentating, like I'm watching on the SRA channel. So.
Oh, did that get? Oh,
yeah.
Good news.
Yeah, we've got it back up and running now. Right. Thank you for joining me for the commentary.
Yeah, a four-way is difficult, even with two people, so...
It absolutely can be. di10kong just picked up Speed Booster at the back of Gauntlet.
Looks like Big Pink's just a lot of ammo, but I didn't get to see all of it.
Yeah, so far, was it Plof? We saw did the SPO skip and found a pack of missiles there. And the item at the top was a pack of missiles as well. I've missed a little bit of stuff here.
Yeah, with these technical issues, I think that's understandable.
Yeah, as we're trying to get everything set up.
Looks like plof is going to check left of Morph here.
And being careful to take those side hoppers out using supers to take them down quickly. So they do a lot of damage not having any suits.
Have we seen any di10kong checks? I just noticed that on Didi, he didn't go down.
I do believe Shala and Plof both had gone down to di10kongs. Okay, I'll swap. I know all runners have Morph Ball now, and a couple of them I know have picked up Plasma Beam and regular bombs.
Finding regular bombs early is a great thing to prevent any soft locks, and we have seen a few soft locks in this tournament.
Yeah, finding regular bombs early is great.
It was plof, actually, herself who soft locked in the last race that she ran against Shala. And it was right after skipping Spring Ball.
Swap. di10kong has Speed Booster. Okay, yeah, you got it already. All right. Let's see.
So it looks like Shala's... Go ahead, sorry.
That's all right. di10kong finding Spacer down at Waterway. Looks like Shala's finishing clearing out Big Pink.
Yeah, we're going to get to see what's at Mission Impossible. Which, if plof checked that, that's something I didn't get to see.
I had missed it as well. Plof finding super missiles at Alpha Power Bombs. Silver's working their way up the climb.
Oh, no, power bombs didn't get to check behind it. There they go. They're going back in. All right.
Swap, I forget exactly who has bombs, so I'm not completely sure. Silver does not have bombs, I know that. Can see that di10kong does have bombs.
Just an E-tank behind alpha power bombs. If I'm not mistaken, Silver is one of the runners in this tournament who is very new and has really learned and improved a lot in her time on racing these things in the qualifier and everything involved.
And, Silver is a friend of mine. Like, she's new to racing, very new to the Super Metroid randomizers, and still new to Super Metroid itself. In fact, was it when we did the qualifier race, she had only completed the game maybe 4 times. And the
Oh,
qualifier was her first time completing Super Metroid in a single run.
see, I love that because when I was still learning, like even when I started joining the community, I'd beat the game a few times. Even when my any percent time was at sub hour, I didn't participate in any of the tournaments or any of the races. I was intimidated to do it actually. And
It,
so I love seeing all of these newer people just hopping right in.
it's always a little nervous going into first races and first tournament.
Hmm.
This is my first tournament I've entered, and I just started racing back in December, I think.
This is also my first tournament.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited to participate, and it was one of my New Year resolution things was to participate more in the Super Metroid activities and tournaments and whatnot. So
So, looks like Diddy Kong is clearing out Big Pink. Silver's just worked down Terminator and headed to Green Brinstar. Uh,
Shala is trying to get that IBJ just right to get up there and check the left of Morph and maybe even Billy Mays if they didn't check it earlier. And Plof looks like she's going up to Gauntlet. Yeah, that
the gauntlet check with only 5 power bombs and no suits can be a little challenging, but having 5
mhm.
tanks and regular bombs definitely will help.
Well, if she goes on into the back of it, she'll get the speed booster. I don't know if she checked it or not. I didn't get to see that.
I missed if she'd checked the backside first or not. The only one I know for sure had checked the back beforehand was Diddy Kong.
Looks like Diddy's just right behind Shala with this going into left of Morph check.
Using plasma beam to clear out the side hoppers.
Nice speedball from Diddy.
Uh, Looks like Silver's trying to figure out the crop in on her stream.
So it looks like Diddy and Shala are both going to go and check Billy Mays. I don't think Plof checked that. I may be mistaken, but I don't remember seeing her go up there.
I didn't see her go up there either. So may have and we just missed it, but might
Yeah.
have just opted to not check there.
So number one is first item up there is super missiles, and the hidden more super missiles. But Plof has found speed booster.
I was like grabbing as many super missiles as I can in the early game.
Yeah, you never know if you're going to find charge early enough to make it worth your time. So I always aim for at least 40 super missiles before Ridley, just for safety.
And 40 is what I like to go into Ridley with as well.
And but if I find charge before then, I can just start skipping out. But I don't like to bet on finding charge because it could be at check tool, it could be hidden in the last place you think to check, so just grab what you can as you come across it.
Mhm. So we're working on the mock ball over entirely supers.
Mock balls are one of the first big speedrunner tricks that I learned, and it's a lot more difficult than it looks, 'cause
Absolutely.
the motion of it is so fluid, it looks simple, but the timing is pretty precise on, uh, morphing and then also rolling that thing to forward so that you keep that momentum going. And then doing a short hop mock ball is even much more difficult.
I've only recently started getting the short hop mock ball myself.
Every time I get the short hop mock ball out of alpha missiles, the first missiles you get in most speedruns,
Yep.
I feel like I'm not get I don't know how I get it, but it's just become muscle memory at this point.
Mm. All right.
We're getting a
Diddy
climb
Kong
supers
have
check.
looked
Did
like
it?
Diddy
Yeah,
Kong
Diddy's.
was just going to try to get it, but was having a little trouble getting past the yellow ball things there. It's grapple beam.
Oh, yeah, you might want to try and go back for that.
Looks like he's gonna be using supers to take those yellow things out. I forget what they're called. And not having a screw attack or ice beam. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that
doing something to destroy them is, you know, definitely the way to go if you're going for this trick of jumping across the gap.
looks like Plof is gonna go into wreck ship, and I would make this call myself because you found speed, so there's nothing necessarily locked in a wreck ship from you now. So,
Mm. Looks
and
like Shala's stream is froze up on us.
yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
With Diddy Kong getting grapple beam, uh, I feel it's definitely an underrated item.
It is.
Like in early game, if you don't have any other beams, it's actually quite strong on taking out a lot of the enemies. And on top of that, throughout the game, if you need to farm, it's very helpful with that in a lot of locations. And then sometimes it's a wonderful progression item for getting over to wrecked ship.
Yeah, I would say the farming alone is worth picking it up. Because
Yeah,
like when you get into Ridley's Lair specifically, that's a very common place to farm, and it's a hard place to farm if you don't have grapple.
absolutely. Um,
But, yeah, and
I
as you said, getting to wreck ship because a lot of we'll see a lot of runners spark across the moat, but that does require a short charge and an air spark, to get across,
it
which can be a lot more difficult than it looks to spark horizontally in the air.
actually is possible without a short charge, but it is very tight on getting the charge and then making the you can jump over to the platform that the door is at and shine spark from there. Like it is doable, but it's
Oh,
also very.
no.
Oh,
Diddy took
Diddy
a death
Kong
in a
taking it.
volcano.
I'm not sure Diddy Kong had saved.
Looks
There
like
was
there
a
was a
save
save
at
at some
one
point.
point. Yeah, not sure how far back that was though.
He doesn't have grapple,
Um,
so it's setting back a little bit.
yeah, missing a couple missiles. I think this was before doing the gauntlet check or going through gauntlet. And yeah, that appears to be exactly what's going on. 'Cause Diddy's just going straight into gauntlet. So it, so it does not have the speed boost right now. We got Plof over in wrecked ship. Um,
Yeah, the stream for
Scream.
me froze a minute ago, but
Yeah,
there it goes. It's picking up again. We're gonna get to see our first Fantoon fight of this race. And no suits means, those flames and Fantoon hits are gonna do a lot of damage, but at least you've got, what is that, 6? E-tanks, 5 or 6 that they have?
Looks like five. Um, Gameaholic, I'm not really the greatest with logic. I know that as far as like what puts Gauntlet in logic for getting there would be speed booster, space jump, or bombs to do an IBJ.
I believe there's also a certain amount of health or suits
Um,
that will help put it in logic, but
yeah, I'm not sure what's in logic as far as suits or E-tanks.
looks like Plof enraged
Oh,
Fantoon reset, or did they die?
I missed it. See, swap. I'm not sure what you might have missed on tracking. Um, I know Diddy Kong had taken a death and is now re-getting speed booster. There's Jay helping us with what puts Gauntlet in check. Method one is gravity through Forgotten Highway. What does Forgotten Highway have to do with Gauntlet? Speed boost, jumps here, and logic, grapple beam, space. Uh, Jay, we're asking about Gauntlet, not Wreck Ship.
Silver's back into the early supers room working on that mock ball, and oh, these attempts are getting really close.
Got Shala working their way up to Gauntlet.
Those wall jumps are ridiculously tight.
It is quite challenging. No, I'm able to do it sometimes, but it still takes me quite a number of tries usually.
Right there with you on that. And most people in randos aren't used to finding regular bombs early, so probably not even thinking to do an IBJ. And Plof shows us Under the Ocean as an E-tank.
We got Diddy Kong doing a Shine Spark across the moat, so they'll be making their way over to the wrecked ship as well.
Look, there Sheliko's trying to do the IBJ. The timing for that is I have to pay attention to visual cues for the IBJs and watch Samus's falling near the bomb instead of actual timing. Like, I don't have a good timing feel for it, but I can watch it, and that's one of the very few things that I have to use a visual cue for.
It's funny how many people have different things they use as cues for stuff. Like with the
Mhm.
IBJ, I know someone told me if you watch the flashing of the bomb for one to lay your next one, that's a cue that they've used. Um,
That's interesting. Maybe
and
I should try to pay more attention to that.
it's, I think they said as it starts flashing faster, you lay your next bomb. Then, is it, I know some people just watch where they are in relation to the, bomb that's about to explode. Some
Oh,
people just have the timing rhythm down. Me, I
so
actually go with an audio cue.
Silver looked like she had the mock ball there for a moment. It was so close. I thought she had got it. I was getting really excited, and then she fell through the crumble blocks.
Plof is in the Fantoon fight. A little bit of trouble with the Dopplers.
And you don't have any way to protect yourself from the flames in this. Like, sometimes you can find screw attack early, and that'll help because you can just do a spin jump, and the flames can't hurt you. But or if you have charge, the you can hold a charge and do the pseudo screw. But no suits, no way to protect from the flames. So it's, this is going to be a high damage fight. But it looks like
Uh,
she's going to get it. Fantoon is getting really dark red now.
Something funny is I've had so many runs where I've never found charge, and so half the time I forget when I do have charge the things I can do with it, such as the pseudo screw.
Yeah, the randos will sometimes will mess up your muscle memory sometimes with these things because like we
There's
were talking about the bombs a moment ago. Shala didn't
speaking of
realize.
bombs, Silver just picked up bombs. I missed it, but she must have made her mock ball through early supers and saw her do a little happy dance there.
I'm glad she finally got that. I'm glad to see it.
All right. So Plof has just finished off her Fantoon fight as Diddy Kong is getting close to finishing his.
Shala's about to find Speed Booster at the back of Gauntlet.
So I know a little bit about Silver, being a friend of mine here
Mhm.
on Twitch. Diddy Kong, I know, is also part of the Randomizer League, which of course has a very different logic than this tournament. I'm not too familiar with Shallow or Pluff myself.
I met Plof because we both ran Hundo for the relay last month,
Oh,
and
awesome.
we had some friendly races leading up to that for practice. And so I don't. I think she said she had ran in the 2017 Rando tournament, and I don't really know a whole lot about her skill set, but we have a similar Hundo time.
And for me, I used to run hundos on randomizers, and a friend of mine that I made on here, Junie June, who's also in this tournament. One day, said he wanted to do a hundo race with me, and after a little bit, we finally got around to it, and that's actually what got me started doing races and eventually entering the tournament.
It's great. I'm glad to see so many people involved in this tournament. Like the the rat has brought in a lot of the rat logic, I should say, is bringing in a lot of people, and it's great because I'm getting to meet a lot of people I don't normally meet through other Metroid channels.
Hmm. Ploff trying to get over to the spiky death room. With the items they currently have, so it would require a pretty tough trick. We can see Ploff going for.
I thought
Yeah,
Profit went through Gauntlet, so if you had Speed Booster, you could do the run from the previous room and get up there.
yeah.
Oh no,
Uh,
what happened with
you might
Silver?
not. Oh, Silver taking a death.
Oh,
I'm not
hate to
sure if
see
she'd
that.
taken a save at some point. Puff has decided to not check the item past the spiky death room. Forget what the location is called.
The wreck ship E-Tank. It's what I've always called it. I guess they maybe when they died to Fantoon, their save was before going to Gauntlet. Because I could have swore they went to Gauntlet, got Speed Booster.
Um, I'm not sure if Ploff did or not. I think maybe, or might have been Shala. I know at least one of them did, but it is possible to, with Speed Booster, to run and make the jump. Or if you had high jump boots, without either of those and items that we know that they have, it is possible to jump, morph, lay a bomb towards the top of the water, unmorph, jump, morph in again, and get a bomb jump out of the water from that first bomb you place.
And
It's a
that
very tough trick, though.
Yeah, you've got the water to contend with, and it's
Mm,
slightly altering levels, plus the timing on getting that bomb and then getting back up to the bomb. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult than it may sound.
yeah, Silver is going again. Thankfully, she did have a save, so yeah, she does. She didn't get set all the way back to the beginning, but and she's gonna have to go and get her bombs over at early supers all over again. Unfortunately,
Another E-tank above the ocean there, on Pluff's screen. This is really healthy seed. No suits yet, lots of E-tanks.
and can see 9 tanks on Ploff's screen.
And no one else seems to have nearly that much yet.
Nope. And Diddy Kong has 40 tanks, and Shala only has 2. Silver is still working on finding some E tanks. Ploff working her way through bowling.
Time to get up and stretch.
It's always nice getting that few seconds of a break there during bowling. I forget exactly how long it is, but it's
30,
definitely nice.
I think it's pretty close to 30 seconds.
It
Can't
sounds
remember the
pretty
exact.
accurate.
I know the Mother Brain 2 cutscene is 90 seconds, or pretty close to 90.
At those points, it's definitely nice if you have a you know, beverage close by so you can get a sip of water or something.
So I don't think Pluff ran in and checked what is at oh, okay. Pluff does have Speed Booster,
Okay,
and
yep.
so they could have gotten up into the wreck ship E-Tank or the Spiky Room of Death that way.
Yeah. Gravity location just holding another pack of missiles. Um, and surprising, getting so far into the seat and still not seeing any suits.
I don't think we've seen anyone go down a tower either yet, but I I don't blame
Yeah.
them with finding speed and Gauntlet. Silver made that mock ball a lot easier this time.
Her health is looking a little bit low for going up to the top. Not
Yeah,
sure if that's the trouble that she had the first time. Oh, her health is looking really low. Oh, it's back
Sha
up. I don't know, maybe she
Shallows
has an E tank that we just can't see because of the cropping.
possibly.
So I saw
Shala
it
is
down to 7 and then it jumped back up.
looks like Shala is having some trouble getting that spark across the moat that we were talking about before,
Yeah.
where not doing a short charge makes it really tight, and then you don't have much timing to jump up there and get that spark without doing it in the air.
Yeah, it can be very challenging. Um, swap, can mark speed booster on Shala's tracker so we don't forget. Ploff going to the health refill at the bottom of Red Tower, one that a lot of people call the Slaughter's refill.
It's always good to be safe in these randos.
Mm. Slaughters, of course, is a well-known, excellent runner in the Super Metroid community, and is also going to be part of the exhibition race tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern.
He is also the number 1 qualifier for the qualifying race for this tournament.
Yep. Followed by Zosti, who's also going to be in the exhibition match tomorrow.
I'm really excited to see that exhibition match. And now with Kip
Absolutely.
on commentary, I think that's going to be really great.
And I definitely enjoy watching Kip's channel and knowing that he's going to, you know, be doing some commentary to help out is awesome.
Kip is really good on commentary, and he's an amazingly skilled runner.
And one thing I really enjoy when I watch him doing runs is you rarely ever see him do a reset. Yeah. He could have a run where he's well off from his usual pace, and he'll just sit there and just keep going through the whole run.
One of the things I like to say about speedrunning is that the most difficult part of it is morale management. When you
Mm.
are doing the same thing over and over for so long and you just can't get, like, when you have those periods of times where you just can't get the things right, a lot of people get frustrated and upset, and almost never see that out of Kip.
And I think about the only thing that you ever see change with him is once in a while he'll be like playing and then be like, "Oh wow, I'm actually on a really good pace here. Sorry, I'm gonna have to somewhat ignore chat for a little bit." Yeah. And
But
even there, he'll still try and keep up with chat as much as he can, but
Shala
at the same
getting over the
time,
moat by doing the jumps over, and those jumps are actually a lot easier when you have speed booster and no high jump.
okay,
One of the rare times you actually want that combo. And let's see if Plof can get out of Kraid's room without going to the Crady Hawkins dance. Oh, that claw got in the way and then froze for a
okay,
second.
and getting a little bit of lag on Sloth's stream, but yeah, we saw two supers go right into Kraid's claw. Most likely, Kraid will be standing up.
Looks like Diddy was thinking about checking X-ray. Yeah,
Silver in the Edicoon's room looks like she's trying to IBJ up it.
maybe no. I think Diddy's farming power bombs. That's what.
WJG, I know that Silver can wall jump, but she's probably just not as comfortable with it. I know she at times still has a little bit of trouble trying to get her wall jumps in.
The wall jumps in Super Metroid are very counterintuitive. Most games, wall jumps are you just press jump and away from the wall at the same time, or you simply press jump while being against the wall. But in Super Metroid, it's the opposite. You have to press away from the wall, and then you have to have the right timing on your jump.
It definitely takes some practice to get the wall jumps down. Even there, sometimes it still just doesn't want to work as well as you'd like it to.
So
Chad
behind
Rain
Kraid is
saying,
just some super.
only good at right side wall jumps for some reason. And I'm fairly decent on both sides, but I'm definitely better at right side wall jumps than left side.
No, it looks like Diddy is actually going to check X-ray. This is really surprising
Yeah.
to make this check without any suits.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous check. Oh no, looks like
Going
Shala
for the
died for
IBJ up
Fantoon.
there.
That's rough. Fantoon with no suits is not.
Mm.
Wait, was that Fantoon? Because the save is in Red Tower. Okay, pretty sure he was facing Fantoon. But yeah,
Mm,
three tanks and no suit. It's really tough Phantoon fight.
yeah. It is doable if you watch any percent runners doing new route. You can see it, but it's definitely something very challenging to do.
Yeah, you
Uh,
watch most of those new route runners and how they handle that, and they make it look easy.
yeah, but they're also usually very top caliber runners.
Yeah, they've got, dozens and dozens of hours of practice into that.
WJG saying won't touch wreck ship without 7 tanks or a suit.
Oh no, Silver
Yeah.
just barely missing that morph slot. Lo- Looks like she's getting the wall jumps on the same wall pretty well though, actually.
And there we go. She makes it over there. Gets herself an E tank.
Little Atakun over there
Oh,
cheering her on.
I missed it, but Plof has a gravity suit now and is working her way through Meridia.
Yeah, I missed where that pickup was.
The
Might have
challenges
been
of commentating a four-way. Oh,
might have been in crate pocket at the front
thank you,
pocket.
Jestro. Saying high jump items, or
Oh,
believes it was there. Okay, swap confirming his high jump missiles. Ooh, and finding various suit at the Crab Supers. Oh,
well, if I was in Pluff shoes after finding both suits, I would I'd be looking for charge and wave and ice to complete the beam combo. That'll save you a lot of time, or just picking up all the ammo I come across in the meantime. And high jump would also be a pleasant find, or space jump.
hmm. I prefer to find high jump boots, mm, like over space jump. Space jump is an excellent item to find, but if I had to choose between the two, I'd always go with high jump boots.
It's a That's a tough choice, and I think at this point in the run, high jump boots would be preferable.
For some runners, that aren't used to doing things such as gravity dives,
Hmm.
like I'm sure that they'd still want to have the space jump for getting their way up into lower Norfair.
Looks like Shala is making his way over into Kraid.
And Diddy Kong on the way
Just
back out of Kraid, so a
yeah,
little bit of
little
a high
high
five.
five right outside the Ghidorah door.
And Silver in Big Pink.
And Plof taking out everyone's least favorite snake.
Yep, hate that snake so much.
Those hitboxes are terrible. And a lot of the times in randos, if you have charge and plasma, when you get here, you can kind of counteract those hitboxes thanks to plasma's piercing property. But
Yep.
otherwise, it's really hard to land something because each little segment of botch wound has its own hitbox. And a lot of the times what happens is when you're shooting at Batoon, you a little segment moves position and blocks that shot because of the way he rides around.
Shallow's just finished taking down Kraid.
And it looks like Diddy's gonna go down and get his high jump items. There's Screw Attack has the high jump E tank. And there's Gravity Suit. Yeah.
It's definitely a very stacked location over there.
Yeah, those are two really powerful items. Two of those three high jump items were major. So definitely a high value location. Silver getting into the back, getting into Spo Supers through the back door. Also, we don't get to see too many Spore Spawn fights in the randos. There was a race the other
Mm,
day, I think, where the only way they could get power bombs, or no, the only way they could get supers was from Spo Supers, and so they had to fight Spore Spawn.
It's pretty rare for that to happen. In fact,
Yeah,
I don't think I've had that happen to me yet.
I think that was actually one of Shala v Plof, uh, one of their other races.
Mm. Shala now getting their screw attack and spotting gravity suit. Mm. Plof is well underway in the Dragon fight.
Here is one of the best uses for Grapple Beam also. If you don't have Speed Booster or you're just not good at doing the 2 taps and sparking into Dragon, you can
Yeah.
always get grabbed by one of those goos and grapple the electric field.
Mm. Of course, my preferred method for killing Dragon is microwave. But if I don't have that, then second in line, I like doing the grapple kill. It usually tends to be fairly quick, and it's definitely easy.
Yeah, it looks
But
like X-Ray was one of the earlier items in this seed, so I'm sure they all picked it up, hoping that
yeah, I
they'd
can
use it
see
the
all
right
runners
way.
have X-ray. And Silver looks like she's trying to get up to left of Morph.
Yeah, I believe that
Not
wall
quite good.
jump is possible, but it's really tight.
To do it, you first have to like the little green tube where the bugs are flying out of. You have to wall jump off of that, and then wall jump
Mm.
off the ledge. And even doing that, it is still pretty tight. Plus, you have the bugs constantly flying out at you and getting in the way.
Oh, I didn't see a check of the precious item from Plop's side. I wonder if she checked it before she went into Dragon.
Mhm. I'm not sure. It looks like di10kong is headed back out of Meridia. Not sure. Possibly he just wants to go to Lower Norfair and take out Dragon on the way back up. Okay, swaps and checked on the way in, and it was missiles.
So Vanilla Precious. A neat little thing I've always enjoyed about the precious room or the precious item is that it got its name actually because of a typo. It was supposed to be the
Hmm.
previous room, and a typo made it the precious room, and it just stuck.
It's kind of funny when things get names from actual, like, just little mistakes.
Hmm.
Like something some people know, but not. Oh, wow. Plow finding Ice Beam up in Aqueduct.
That is a nice find.
Um, something not everybody knows is like it was never intended to be called Varia Suit. The original name was Barrier Suit. Yeah, because it would provide an extra barrier against everything, trying to hurt you. But it was, I guess, a mistranslation going from Japanese to English and became Varia Suit.
I've heard that story before. It feels familiar, but yeah, I don't think that's as well known as some of the other ones. But it's interesting. And Shala has found Varia now at the Super Crab Super location. So it doesn't look like we're going to get to see a Shep tool check. I
Uh,
think Plof is just leaving Meridia altogether now and leaving those items unchecked. But we do have Plof did defeat Dragon, so they just have Ridley left.
Silver seems to be trying to IBJ up Red Tower. We got di10kong doing looks like going for gravity jumps to get to lower Norfair.
Looks like a combination
It's,
of gravity jumps and high jumpless lava dive.
and it's okay, looks like di10kong's in the area I'd do it from. So
Yeah,
this
I would do it
spot,
from there too.
yeah.
And if you have
So
high jump, you don't have to do the wall jumps under the Namahe. You can, if you do it a good one, you can just get right up there.
yeah, and sometimes if you're just a little short, you can just wall jump off that very top ledge and get up there. Which it's always nice to have that as a backup.
Plof is about to show us what's at ice. It looks like we've got on Shala's side a bit of frozen stream again.
Yeah. di10kong already into lower Norfair, about to go in the pillar room. Looks like might be going for the shine spark through the pillars.
Oh, so
Not
close.
quite
He
getting
got the
it.
blue suit, just didn't get the down input in time.
Yeah.
That is such a tightly, like sorry, that my words are fumbling right now, but that doing that short charge is ridiculously tough.
He's going for a backup method, charging it before getting in the pillar room, and gets the shine spark this time. Now going up the worst room in the game. Let's see, di10kong has two options. Can either go for a really tight wall jump, since they don't have high jump boots, or could go for an IBJ, which looks like that's what di10kong's going to do.
Yeah, it looked like he tried the wall jump first, but having screw attack really helps a lot in this room. You can just take out those pirates with ease.
Plof going to check the item at the bottom of Bubble Mountain. I missed if di10kong did the check or not on its space jump. So I'm guessing
I
di10kong did not make that check.
No, I think Diddy ran directly to Lord Norfair without making any checks. And
His
Shala has got butt wound down.
space jump, of course, making the lava dive there going into lower Norfair absolutely easy.
Yeah, it's not actually in logic in this tournament logic without space jump and gravity, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. I missed what happened on silver screen. It looked like she just did a reset, though.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if you saw it.
Oh no, silver has forfeited from the race.
Oh, it's hard to see that.
Hmm. And sometimes, aggravation can get to you when,
Hmm.
trying to do some of the tricks and just not quite getting them.
Yeah, and being so new, I'm sure that puts a lot more pressure on her to learn these tricks and to get these things off. And without question, I'm sure she feels behind, and that adds to the frustration.
Of
Diddy
spring.
finding Spring Ball. That's at the Power Bombs of Shame location. Time for the Pupo SBs to come out.
Swap's already ahead of us on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had mine in there.
So Plof is heading down into Lower Norfair now, while Shala is going into the Dragon's room. The climb super location, which has grapple in this seed, is not really oftenly checked, or people don't often go after it either. But in this case, if they had, it would make their Dragon fight a lot easier. Or at least possibly easier. And looks like Plof is going to show us what's in the rat room. Some supers. Still very good pickup to get. Because we haven't found charge yet. I don't think anyone has. And Plof is just now at 60 supers, so that's a pretty comfortable number with the amount of regular missiles that she has. But if I was in those shoes, I would still pick up a few more supers, I think. So Diddy has finished up his Ridley fight. I didn't see if there was a check behind Ridley as the Ridley item. Swap, that was super missiles at the generic mouse. Looks like we're gonna have a high five between Diddy and Plof here in the Wasteland. That's this room's name, the Wasteland.
So looking at the bracket, see is that di10kong will be moving on to face Nevdi, and Silver will be gone to the alternative bracket to face Blue Tony 03.
I'm not familiar with either of those names.
I'm not familiar with Blue Tony. Nevdi, I know, is in the randomizer league. I don't really know much more than that. And let's see, with race of Shala and Plof. Let me see
This is
where
game
they're at.
3, so the winner of this one will move on.
Yeah, the winner will go on to face Cheese Reaver, and the loser of this match will go to the alternative bracket to face Whaleorinth.
If I'm not mistaken, Whaleorinth had a race last night, and I didn't get to watch that.
Not sure when Whaleorinth's last race was, but it looks like they had lost their match, unfortunately for them.
And Shala getting Dragon down. At the same time, on plus screen, Ridley is going down. Yeah, that was an intense Dragon fight. Shala had to farm for some ammo off of the goops, it looked like. High jump boots behind Dragon. I guess Plof must have got those. I just didn't see the check for it. Looks like Diddy is gonna uh, go directly to Meridia to get Dragon and just go mode what's left. Charge behind Ridley. Now we've seen that more than a few times, I feel like, in this tournament or in the rat logic seeds. But it's always nice to find charge, even if you've already got more than enough ammo to take care of what's remaining. It just that safety.
It's always a good peace of mind having charge beam, knowing that even if you for some reason miss a lot of missiles or supers, that you have that as a backup.
Yeah, so I don't expect that we'll see any more ammo pickups from Plof. Maybe some checks hoping for Wave Beam? Or, yeah, I guess that would be all that's left, so maybe maybe not, maybe just going for it.
Mm. One of the things I usually find behind Ridley, and I find it to be most aggravating, is bombs.
Yeah, I
Like the
think that's
regular water
another
bomb.
that's a I think in the randos that I've played in general, that's not an uncommon thing.
Usually at that point, I don't even bother grabbing them. Because the fanfare time is not worth the very short bit of time it saves me overusing the many power bombs that I've already got.
Yeah. If I don't find regular bombs early, I will try to go for 20 power bombs, and I'll pick up more if my power bomb count is low and I happen to see a pickup.
Mm. Yeah.
But
I
20 is
usually I'm usually happy with 15 power bombs, but sometimes I will grab 20.
15 is a nice amount, and it's like if you don't find dice or regular bombs, that's the minimum amount you're going to need going through Tyrion.
Mm.
However, I will go ahead and grab that extra pack for to have 20 just for that extra bit of safety.
Yeah. Peace of mind is always nice.
Hmm.
And of course, we've got runners of many different skill levels in this tournament, which is absolutely awesome. Um, you know, everyone's always going to have a different comfort level for their go mode. I've seen
Yeah,
many runners that they'll be in go mode and headed into terrain, and I'm like, I still want a couple more super packs or something.
it,
And,
Diddy has made it very clear that he feels like he's in go mode.
uh,
He's not making many checks. He's
Especially
going straight to
after
what's
having just gotten the ice beam, it's going to make going through terrain a lot easier in the Metroid rooms. Um, I'm guessing Diddy did not pick up charge beam.
no, Diddy's not been making very many checks ever since he found I think what was it? I think it was Varia at Crab Super. No, it wasn't. What was that Crab Supers?
Yeah, that was
That was
where Varia was,
yeah, okay.
I
Then
think.
my memory is not terribly bad. But yeah, I think since then he hasn't been making many checks. He's been just kind of rushing himself to the bosses. Plof is on her way to G4. Plof, what
Yeah,
are you gonna do with the fish? Don't kill the fish. Okay,
waves at the
she
fish. Personally, I kill the fish every time.
disapprove.
I
That
feel
fish
just
didn't do anything
because
to you.
I feel that he shouldn't be treated special just because he's a different color. So, yeah, of course, Swap always gets after me for it every single time.
Well, I know there's a well-known bit of rivalry between Antinomy and Punk about that fish.
All right,
And uh Antinomy, when I got started into Super Metroid, he was one of the people who would always show up in my streams and give me tips. So
that's
I
awesome.
feel like I can't be mean to that fish just because of that.
Of course, one day I was joking around about making a redfish RTA, and kind of spurred Swap Space on to coming up with an RTA category of Tickle the Fish, so, which involves getting grapple beam, and then get up to redfish and tickle them with the wonderful tickle beam.
Might have to try to get that on the extension leaderboard and run that. Help, and if we can get that on there, I might have to do a run for it.
I believe Swap is trying to get it on the speedruns.com site. Last I knew, my friend Junie June had taken the record away from Swap. Of course, Swap had only done one run. But Swap, you get the credit of setting the first world record and setting the standard.
So,
Swap told me that super tickling the fish with a super doesn't count.
yeah, that's not a tickle. That's just a big alley. It looks like Diddy has got Dragon down, which is his last boss, so he'll be making his way to G4
Yeah.
shortly
Plof is
behind Plof.
already into the first Metroid room. I'm not sure with Plof's methods going through, so I don't know if Plof does the Metroid grouping strats.
Well, having Ice Beam, probably it doesn't look like she's
Oh,
doing
yep.
much grouping.
Yeah, she grouped them in room 2. I pretty much only group them in rooms 2 and 4. Getting grabbed by Metroid in the third room. Going for the grouping strats in the fourth Metroid room as well.
Looks like Swap was having some fun with Silver's tracker,
Yeah. Yeah, going with a bit of a checkerboard pattern there. Oh,
making a
wait, no,
heart, it looks
it's a
like.
heart. Yeah. Yeah, there's in the SRL chat, there was some hearts there for silver.
Plof is going to be turning off oh, I would have turned off Screw Attack at the same time to help with making the Zeb skip in a little bit.
Yeah. Might possibly do that when turning Varia back on. Looks like turn Varia off to damage down for the baby a little
Yeah,
faster.
that that definitely goes a lot faster without Varia. And when you have so many E-tanks, it's worth the pause time.
Shell is still making checks on items. On Plof doing Crystal Flash there to refill after baby.
It's not a bad move at all, actually, considering that she has Charge Beam and so much ammo.
It does save time. I mean, the health refill is very quick, but at the same time, going into it, you get 2 door transitions, so that adds to the time.
Yeah, the door transitions are what really makes the Crystal Flash so much faster.
Shala taking a alternative way to get down to Lower Norfair from the wave beam location.
Looks like Plof may not be familiar with how to do the Zeb skip without Wave Beam, and I'd say I'm not too familiar with that myself, so I can't say much about that.
Swap space, the Zeb skip. So, for anyone that's not familiar with how to do the Zeb skip using Ice Beam without wave, is you still go underneath like most people do and crouch and hold both angles to aim up, and you can freeze the Rinka that way. And then you just do it like you normally would.
So I wonder what Diddy's is looking for. I wonder if it's ice, because he wasn't making very many checks as he ran to Meridia, but then he went up and checked the beach in the watering hole.
He's got ice on his tracker. Yeah, he's
Oh,
got ice. I can see it with his beam shot. Uh, Perhaps looking for charge beam.
But he didn't check behind Ridley, I don't think, and
Uh,
I think he skipped out a lot of lower Norfair checks. Maybe he's looking for the extra ammo because he just now hit 60 supers, I think. So
yeah. It looks like 40 missiles and 60 supers.
wave beam found by Shala down at Screw Attack location, which I'm pretty sure Shala's the only one who's gone down there. So
Uh,
Smokey will be proud of Shala.
yeah. As Swap says in this chat there, Smoky Beam.
Wave beam is one of my favorite items to find early. It's so convenient being able to shoot things on the other side of blocks or your shot not getting stopped by like a little stalactite hanging from the ceiling or something of that sort.
And, depending on routing and locations that you check, it can help by opening up blue gates from the other side.
Yeah, that's an also very handy part. And my race versus Mister uh, several days ago, I ended up finding wave beam fairly early, and then at the wave gate, forgetting I had wave and doing the super glitch.
I've seen that happen many times.
I think I went back and looked at the VOD, and Smokey said she was very disappointed.
Yeah. I've seen other people having both morph bombs and spring ball using a power bomb to get up a small spot, such as on the way to bowling.
It's things you're not used to having so early, in randos like the bombs. We've said that a few times about not overlooking the IBJ possibilities today. Plof
Hmm.
has made short work of Mother Brain.
I missed it, but I think she might have done stand up.
I didn't notice. I was watching Shala when he got wave beam and such, and then watching Diddy trying to figure out exactly what he's looking for, but I think it's just ammo.
Oh, thank you, Jestra, confirming that she did do stand up. Because I had looked at the last second and seen Samus looking a little glitched, which does happen with stand up. Yeah.
So it looks like Diddy's gonna be heading to G4 now. I think he's probably comfortable with the ammo he has. I know Diddy does a lot of randos, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's very comfortable with this ammo count. Now, if I was in Plof's shoes, like, I like to save the animals when it's a big thing, like if it's being restreamed like this, or if like for the relay, I did it. Actually, I didn't do it in the relay because I wasn't sure where my positioning was in terms of the other team, and because I wasn't sure, I just skipped the animals. If I knew that it wouldn't change the positioning of things, I would have gone and done it.
GG Pluff. It's
Look,
finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 49 seconds.
GG.
And for Pluff, that is a PB for the tournament, beating the former PB that she had by 15 minutes and 11 seconds. So GG for that, too.
That's quite an improvement. We've got Shella in the Metal Pirates room having a little bit of trouble. When you get them both dancing around you like that, it can be really difficult.
Yeah. I personally always make sure to keep them separated. But I know there are some strats that make it a little easier. It looks like Ploff will be joining us for an interview. Hello. Uh,
And goodbye.
Thanks for stopping by.
Diddy's going into the baby room.
Uh, Plof has to restart Discord, so it'll be just a moment.
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello, hello. I can hear you now.
GG, Plof.
Thank you. Ugh.
Yeah, GG on your win and also on the PB you just got for the tournament.
Yes. 118. Can't complain about that. Not at all. I'd say, honestly, I think I ran a pretty solid run here. The only real major mistake was like dying to Fantoon, but even that was not like that bad TM.
Yeah, you
Going
didn't
wreck
have any.
shipped early didn't pay off in the way I was hoping to. Wreck ship didn't really have any major progression items. It just had like E-tanks and junk. Unless there was
Yeah,
something at wreck ship E-tank that I didn't see, but the only major it could be would be another E-tank, Wave, or Spazer. So,
and not sure if anyone had gone over and made that check or not.
I think we did
yeah.
see someone else make that check and it was ammo, but I may be
Okay.
mistaken.
Because high jump was. Where was it?
High jump was behind Dragon.
Yes, thank you. It was behind Dragon. Um, so yeah, you'd have to go pretty far back. The gravity was yeah, you'd have to do wreck ship after Meridia to check that efficiently, unless you can do the crazy bomb jump that I've heard is possible but can't actually do.
Yeah, we saw you trying it a little bit. It is a
I mean,
very tight trick to pull off.
basically, I got there and I was like, all right, let's give this like I don't know, 10 tries. Maybe we'll maybe we'll get lucky and get this successfully without ever having practiced it. And then I didn't, and I was like, whatever. It's just one
Well,
item.
where you had speed booster, it is possible to make the jump. You have to start running from the previous room, and
Hmm.
pretty much just as you get underneath the little orb dude there, you jump. And I can't remember if you have to do a wall jump or not, but you can make it out of the water that way.
Mm-hmm.
Without high jump, though, it is a much tighter jump than like we're used to when we run Hundo.
Yeah. Ugh, man. I was also because it took forever to find charge. I picked up a ton of supers, and I
Yeah.
haven't done a chargeless Turian before, but I know that you need 70 supers if you're going to only use supers on Mother Brain. So I was looking at my ammo cache. I was trying to do the math in between rooms. It's like, okay, is that enough? Will we need to refill halfway through killing Zebs? Like,
Uh,
so
Mother
um,
Brain 2
uh,
requires 60 supers, I think,
yeah,
to
yeah,
kill
60
Brain.
supers, and then MB1 you want 10 supers or a whole bunch of missiles.
Yeah,
And
36.
I had like 45 missiles and like 55 supers at one point, and I was like, I think this is fine. Like, but then you also have to not miss. So like, I want to have like 75 or something if I'm gonna do chargeless Turian, but then charges behind Ridley, so didn't matter.
yeah. I forget
Yes,
exactly what it is for Mother Brain 1. I know it's 6 missiles to break the glass, and then I want to say it's 7 or 8 supers after that will finish it off.
well,
Yeah.
Mother Brain 1, after breaking the glass, still requires us like 18 projectiles, I think. It's something really different that
Yeah,
none of the
it's
other bosses
for
have.
It's as
the
far as
glass
breaking the
require.
glass takes a
Yeah.
number of projectiles, but
If
once
I'm
you
not
broke the glass and you're actually hitting Mother Brain herself, then it's not a projectile count.
Yeah, then it's damage.
I remember that the ideal count is 9 and 9 because the 6 of the regular missiles to break the glass and then 6 more plus the other 9
And in
supers will give you
chat,
the
I'm
next.
seeing Swap says 3k damage and 12 projectiles. I'm guessing he's talking about projectiles to break the glass.
Probably
I
after
think that might be off.
first 6 that breaks the
And
glass.
Gameaholic
Yeah.
saying 30 missiles after breaking glass, which would equal out to 10 supers.
Mm-hmm. But anyway. Yeah. The other thing, so I checked Blue Brinstar. There were no power bombs in Blue Brinstar this time, so I couldn't beam rat, which made me very sad. Uh, but I went back to check Blue Brinstar, and like I got the item that's just to the left of Morph Ball, and I was like, do I want to go check Billy Mays? Whatever. It's only 2 items, and the entire run I was thinking, "I swear to God, if Barry is a Billy Mays, I'm gonna be so upset."
Well, you
Yeah.
you made the right call there because Billy Mays was just 2 super packs.
Yeah. So, overall, I can't really complain. Doing that gauntlet check when going down after Terminator was definitely a smart move, because it meant that I knew after getting bombs or another power bomb pack, I could come back around, grab speed, and then enter wrecked ship. Um, which is why I went up Red Tower, because I knew I could go to Gauntlet and then go to Wrecked Ship. And I like doing Wrecked Ship early. I think there's a high item density. I think in SMRAT it's generally a good idea, but I haven't done the math. So
I agree with going up Red Tower early if you can, because Wreck Ship, like, you don't have to backtrack as much if you can go up and then go back down. Whereas if you have
yeah,
to go down, you have to backtrack a lot more.
yeah. The only tricky thing with like doing Wrecked Ship first is that you need to be good enough to like defeat Fantoon on relatively low items. And like as we saw with my race, like I died to Fantoon,
Well, Fantoon
accidentally
without
triggering.
any suits is really difficult because of the high
Yeah,
amount of damage you suffer, and you didn't
yeah.
have screw attack or charge, which would have helped you avoid some of the flame damage.
Yeah, it was a I don't run new route. I don't even run any percent because I don't like it. So like uh fighting Fatoon is often a challenge in these races, but like we survived. The real killer on the first Fatoon attempt was that I accidentally popped his enrage phase early. Um and without screw attack or charge, getting through those enrage flames is really difficult. I like know there's a way if you hide in the corner in a certain way, you can like get through the flames. But I couldn't remember it, and I tried to do it, and I got bodied.
It
So
is possible to dodge the flames. It's, I think, much harder without high jump boots, but like with high jump boots, if you watch the way the flames are kind of like, twisting out of Fantoon, be like, as the flames are moving left to right, if you're on the right side of the screen, you jump up into the corner, you can dodge the flames, and then as the flames are coming from the other side, you run to the other corner and do the same thing.
yeah,
So it's possible, but it's still pretty challenging.
yeah. But I would say I'm like quite satisfied with how that race went. Honestly, has anybody else found ice? Just as a curiosity.
Yes, everybody found ice,
Okay.
except silver, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I often forget, like just straight up forget to check aqueduct items a lot of the time, which is like I always feel really embarrassed whenever I like forget about an item location because my main category is 100%. So it's like, man,
Yeah.
I really should know these.
With
But
me, I mostly run rando, but
that's
with,
fair.
with running these rat seeds, I rarely go check anything in Bubble Mountain or uh, Croc.
Hmm.
Most of the time I'm in go mode before I have those locations really open to me.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I mean, one of the things we had to learn with SMRAT, because we're used to doing randos on like the season races preset, where you can require like hell runs and suitless Meridia up to Batoon and things like that.
yeah,
Um, so like with SMRAT, because it uses casual logic, there's a lot of things that you might very reasonably go for in a season races rando that is totally pointless here. Like hell runs, I'm pretty sure are almost always going to be worth it. Not worth it, sorry. I can think of almost
yeah.
no situations where it would actually be worth it to hell run. The
Before
only
the
one,
tournament started, in some practice races, I did some hell runs, and they never paid off for me.
yeah. And like the other thing, you will never find gravity in lower Norfair because like I'm quite comfortable doing lava dive, so I'll
Mhm.
quite gladly run down into lower Norfair if I have high jump and Varia. But like in one of the races, I was like looking for gravity, and I just did a bunch of checks in lower Norfair, and then my friend Kamaro was like, "Why are you checking lower Norfair? Gravity can't be down there because it'll never force lava dive." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
won't." Like, so just like slowly learning the logic and getting it in your brain of like, stop trying to be fancy, just like do something simple and go fast.
At GG to di10kong, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 25 seconds.
GG.
GG. So this was game 3 for Plof versus Shala, and that means that Plof advances to the next round and will be facing the Cheese Reaver.
Mm. I honestly like I wasn't really expecting to go to round two because my seed in the seeding race was pretty terrible. I did very poorly in the seeding race, and because of how the seeding is done, if you have a worse seed, you're more likely to get matched up against a better person in round one because the seeding is structured so that way the best people meet at the end instead of at the beginning. So I was expecting to go up against someone that was much better than me and then get destroyed, but um, and I'm not trying to like discredit Chala. They're clearly a very, very skilled runner, but I wasn't really expecting to win this, so I'm very happy about that.
Diddy Kong is not going to be joining for an interview, but that's all right. Definitely a great run by Diddy Kong.
GG.
There is a point there I thought Diddy might actually be the first one to finish the siege because when he found Varia at Crab Supers, he immediately turned about and made a quick run down to Lower Norfair towards Ridley and didn't check many things.
I considered doing that. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like after picking up Crab Supers, I just stood in Mount Everest for like a good 10 seconds. And that was me just
Yeah,
thinking, is it better to do Dragon now or to do Dragon on our way to Turian?
yeah. I
And I
saw you
ended up
make the
deciding,
stop and think for a minute.
yeah, and basically my thought process was, okay, so I haven't found charge yet, and I don't have enough miners to do Turian chargeless. So I would rather do Dragon now, check things in Meridia that are sort of on the way. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to check something in Meridia, but it's like, okay, we'll take a slightly less efficient route to get a couple item locations through Meridia to maybe pick up more miners or maybe find charge. And then beeline through Lower Norfair because there aren't very many item locations in Lower Norfair. Although Lower Norfair might have been faster because then I could have skipped Meridia checks. But anyway, like I won, so I guess it might not have been a bad decision anyway, after all.
Diddy Kong just now in the credits seeing where charge was and in the SRL chat saying how it would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because Diddy Kong never checked behind Ridley, and then between Ridley fight and on the way to Turian went collecting quite a bit of ammo.
I think even if you're in go mode, in many situations, it's still worth it to check behind Ridley. In particular, if you're
Yeah,
in like an iceless go mode, because ice just saves you so much time in Turian.
yeah.
Although, like, I don't know, if the only major you haven't found is like Spring Ball or something, it's like, you could probably live without Spring Ball. Sorry, Spring Ball. I love you, but not super necessary.
I think the
Spring Ball
only
would
way
have
I would skip the check behind Ridley is if I already had a comfortable amount of ammo and all the major items.
Yeah.
If there's just like one major item I didn't have, then I'm probably going to make the check.
Mm. Well, anyway, GG.
Shala is making
Mm,
his way to G4 now, it looks like.
mm.
Awesome. I don't think I have anything else to say, although, like, I don't know, could just keep chatting, like.
Yeah. Um,
But
so what do you think about moving on to face Cheese Reaver?
I've heard of them, is what I think. I don't know anything about them other than that, like, I've seen their name before. So,
Uh,
uh,
Cheese is a friend of mine. He's part of the Randomizer League, and then he's done restreaming and commentary and tracking for us as well as Randomizer League.
oh, nice.
So he's definitely an awesome person and very involved in the Super Metroid community.
He did
I
pretty
think,
well in the seeding in the seeding seed, I guess. Because
The
on the challenge
qualifier.
page, yeah, it looks like he finished 8th place.
hmm.
So that looks like it's definitely going to match up to be a pretty good race between the two of you.
I
Chat
think it
rank
will
saying he
be.
creates horrible seeds. He has made some yeah, he's done a couple times of being the seed generator for some of these races, and they did tend to be rather trolly. I know I commentated a couple of them.
I think it'll be difficult for me to beat Cheese Reaver, but I think that the matches will be a lot of fun. Randos are always a good time, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shala is in Metroid Room 3. No, this is Metroid Room 4 now.
Yep.
So we'll be seeing the baby one more time here in a moment.
All right, I'm gonna pop out. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for
GG,
joining
Plof.
us for the interview. GG, and best of luck to you in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
And everyone, definitely give all the runners a follow if you haven't already. Got all of their Twitch pages right there in the chat. Kamaru, the baby. This is Super Metroid, not Other M. Speaking of which, I got to get back to playing Other M at some point here.
Other M gets a really bad rap, mainly because of its story, but I really like, after the Prime games, Other M came after Prime, and so I was really excited about the movement system in Other M. The story, yeah, we can just ignore that.
Well, I haven't finished my playthrough of Other M yet, but I got to say, yeah, the cutscenes and like all the acting can be definitely not as good as we'd like it to be. But
Yeah,
besides
Nintendo
that, as far as the gameplay is pretty fun on it.
yeah, Nintendo had Team Ninja, I think it was, make that. And so they brought in some of their experience with their games, but that also hindered some of the story because of it wasn't Nintendo making it, so
Mm.
it got altered a bit and became something different. I just don't want to say too much and spoil it for you since you haven't finished it.
And Swap in the chat saying loves Other M. I got to say, so far with Other M, even though the cutscenes can be a little annoying, I'm definitely liking it more than Fusion, personally.
And there we go, Shala getting the sub skip there.
Swap says Other M is the second best Metroid game.
Other M needs a better way to shoot missiles, we feel like. And then but other than that, the gameplay is really, really smooth
Mm.
and fun.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how to shoot the missiles in Other M. But overall, as a game, well, I'd have to say it. I currently feel that Fusion was my least favorite Metroid.
Swap saying that it's his second favorite, second best Metroid game, and that's high praise.
I don't know if I'll go that far, but we'll see.
Well, I think we're all gonna here agree that Super Metroid is the best.
Absolutely. I've actually still got to finish my playthrough of Prime 2. I finished the first Prime, so that was definitely an excellent game.
I dislike the sluggish movement of Prime, and I disliked the way that they handled the beams. Like it was a neat gimmick for its time, but now it feels like it just slows down your gameplay, having to swap beams all the time.
Well, the way I see it is going by the overall timeline, it's supposed to be like after the kind of like between the first and second Metroid games. And if you look at those games, you could only have one beam at a time. So I'm guessing that's where they came about with that idea.
I still haven't got to play Samus Returns, but I hope to sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to play the remake. Unfortunately for me, I don't have a 3DS.
I'm getting some trouble with the restream. There we go. So it looks like Shala is in the cutscene now, and we'll be moving on to Mother Brain 3 and thus the escape after. I hope we get to see at least one runner save the animals.
Yeah, because of me not being a big fan of fusion is why I don't save the animals. I think I've only ever saved the animals twice. And once was just to say that I did it. Second time was a fun casual race with some friends, and oh, I completely lost and had last place. So I was like, yeah, what the heck, why not?
Yeah, I completely understand runners not wanting to save the animals when they're in a race and they don't know what their position is at that point, or uh, when they're going for PBs or such. But I think for marathons, like especially when they're charity benefiting marathons, you should save the animals. I don't think it should be a save versus kill. And even then, if they're gonna do save versus kill, I don't think kill is appropriate because you're not actively making action to kill the animals. You're just not going out of your way to save them, which is a different thing. Luckily, none of our runners had to do a speedless escape. That really slows down the escape when you don't have speed.
Absolutely. I had 2 practice seeds in a row where I'd never found speed or high jump boots, which that makes for a very annoying escape.
Oof. I don't think that's realistically possible, Mitsu.
Shala not getting the last shine spark, instead doing the wall climb.
And we talked earlier about how wall jumps are counterintuitive and can be a little difficult to get used to the timing. But then when the screen is shaking like this, also, it makes it that much more difficult.
Oh, yeah. And WJG say not killing any animals. There's no animals in this game, right? Well, if you think about it, any living creature could be classified as an animal in one way.
Shala might be going to save the animals. Hopefully it's not a fake out. Looks like we're getting an animal save, folks.
Yep.
Goodbye, little Etacoons. Goodbye, Decora. I think it's fair to save the animals from Samus's perspective because the Etacoons teach Samus to wall jump, and the Decora teaches Samus to shine spark.
I taught them how to do it better. There we go. Shala has finished. GG.
GG, Shala.
And let's see, where is it? So Shala finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Does anyone know if Shala will be joining us for an interview after this, or
But find out. Shaw is going to join us for an interview.
Hello.
GG, Shala.
Thank you.
So what did you think of the seed?
It was a pretty interesting seed. I could have known to not go to Fantoon because I already knew. I checked all of Brinstar, and I knew that Speed Booster was at Gauntlet, and Bombs was locked behind Speed Booster. So Space Jump had to be somewhere accessible at that point, which was just Kraid and or Space Jump or a suit had to be accessible, and there was only Kraid and High Jump and Spazer actually still in Logic, so I could have just known to go down or check those. And then I would have found Gravity. Once I found Gravity, that only opens like 3 locations in Meridia. The right side, Mama Turtle, and Crab Supers. So actually 2 locations in Meridia. So I know that Space Jump or another suit had to get one of those, and then you get Varia, and then that opens up Bubble Mountain. So Space Jump has to be... Actually, Space Jump, that only opened up 2 locations in Bubble Mountain area, which is why I went through Cathedral on the way in, because without High Jump, the upper Bubble Mountain items aren't in Logic either, or Space Jump, or Bombs. So then I had to... Space Jump had to be at either Cathedral or the right side missiles, which is pretty interesting.
Actually, just having bombs and Varia puts the wave and speed locations in Logic.
Yeah,
well,
but
actually, wait. Wave is only in Logic after also having Space Jump or Grapple. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need Bombs, Space Jump, Grapple, or High Jump.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I think High Jump works. But yeah. And bombs are locked behind Speed Booster, which is locked behind Space Jump, so as far as Logic is concerned, there's only 2 new locations opened by the Varia suit.
Looking at the bracket, you'll be going to what a lot of us are now calling the alternative bracket, and you'll be facing Whaleranth. Let's see, where is it? I'm not too familiar with Whaleranth, so yeah.
Yeah, neither am I.
Was there any really notable one of your more noticeable, or sorry, bad words here. One of your, was there any point in the seed that sticks out to you more than any of the others?
It was kind of like when I actually realized, like halfway through the Fantoon fight, that there's not going to be anything in Rex Ship, and also then I died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plof also died to Fantoon, or had a reset rather. I can't. I had some stream issues at the time. I couldn't tell which one it was.
Plus I
But
died at Fantoon.
there was no no one had any suits when they fought Fantoon in this, so it was a very tough fight with the flames and Fantoon doing 40 damage per hit. And
Yeah.
it could have been easier, if you had found charge or screw it before then, because that would protect you from flames to a degree.
I at least did get my revenge and microwaved Fantoon at the end.
Yeah.
Now, when you found Faria in the Crab Supers location, now some of the other runners, we could see some hesitation, like Plof hesitated on which way to go, and Diddy, when he got it, he ran straight to Lower Norfair. So did that decision making cross your mind, or did you just want to?
I did think about it, but then I realized if I'm already here, I should probably just finish off Dragon since they do have Speed Booster. Although I don't ended up spending a lot of time fighting Dragon because I have a little trouble. I haven't actually done a Dragon ammo kill before. I think every time I've done a grapple kill or an X-ray or a microwave kill. So that was a little bit interesting. And it also would have been a fair bit easier to actually get there if I had gotten the speed booster first. Although high jump was pretty useful for Lower Norfair.
Yeah, high jump behind Dragon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And charge was behind Ridley.
Yeah.
Since the trackers changed, I don't know if you had found that or not.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. Diddy didn't find that when after Ridley he just was he was almost in go mode, he just needed a little bit of ammo. So he just did a few checks along the way to get more ammo, but he could have saved himself those checks if he had checked Ridley.
I think I actually would have preferred if Ridley was an energy tank. I think I had 85 supers at the time, so I had plenty of ammo for Ridley. Or plenty of ammo for Mother Brain. It wouldn't have been an issue. And I really just needed more energy for Mother Brain.
I can't remember how many tanks you had at, by the time you got to Ridley.
I think I
But
had
I
14
know
in reserve.
I can see that wanting an Eve tank there instead, because there's no real easy way to refill. There's no easy way to farm out there either.
Well, I mean, I had Screw Attack, so I'm pretty with space and Screw Attack. I'm pretty confident in being able to exit Lower Norfair with basically no damage, or basically without any significant amounts of health. I think I actually ended up with slightly more health than after Ridley by the time I finished exiting Lower Norfair.
There was a lot of E-tanks front-loaded in this seed, it felt like.
Yeah, I realized near the end that originally, when I was going back through Retro Brinstar to head back up, I was going to get the Ceiling E-Tank, but I forgot about it. Which probably would have actually saved me in the Fantoon fight, because I think I would have killed Fantoon on the next round. I just barely didn't have enough health. I needed, I think, one more missile and a super, and then I would have killed Fantoon.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask or to mention, Amadeus?
Not that I can think of.
Shallow, is there anything last things you'd like to say or shout out?
Yeah. Not really. Thank you for commentating and sort of restreaming.
Thank you for the race, and
GG
best of
again.
luck to you in the rest of the tournament.
Right. Thank you.
And before we get sorry, I accidentally muted myself there. Before we get swapped to cut the restream, I'll go over the matches here on the schedule for the rest of today. There's one at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time between WJG and Skarsnik. There's another one at 6 p.m. Eastern Time between Messer and Ravensgrim. And then again at 7 p.m., there's one between Canadian Owl and K-Dove. I
It
believe
looks
Al
like
is
they'll
one of
be
those.
doing their second match immediately after, too.
I believe Al's does a lot of the Rando League, if I'm not mistaken.
And at 8 o'clock, we got Messir and Ravensgrim doing their second match. Also at 8 o'clock, be me and Phoenix Down doing our third match. And at 11:30 Eastern, tonight we got Maniacal versus Commodora for their third match.
That's going to be an exciting match.
Then also, another reminder that tomorrow's the huge exhibition hype race. We got a 4-way race going to be using SMRAT seeds, and it's going to be a 4-way between Zosti, Sloters, Fuzda, and Asder. And it's going to be commentated by Oats and Goats and Kip. So, all amazing runners. And definitely a match you want to be there. And definitely don't want to miss it.
Sorry, David. I'm very tongue-tied today. WJG. No offense intended. I'm just not familiar with you or your opponent, so I don't know the skill levels involved. But I had a good time, despite the difficulty of watching 4 runners at the same time, doing this alongside with you, Amadeus, and with Swap on tracking.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the co-commentary. It's always a lot of fun having somebody else doing commentary with me. Definitely big thanks to Swap for doing the tracking, and to J Chalk for handling the restream for us. So
Well, I guess it's time to sign off. So I will see everyone next time, and good luck to all the runners in the next few races.
have a good night, everyone.